Hi, ladies. We are on page 20 today. So this is week 2, our spring break week. I'm going to be posting 3 CGI videos. They're going to be labeled as spring break CGI number 1, number 2, and number 3. Today we are doing our CGI spring break lesson number 1, and you can record this on page 20 in your packet. So today Jack has 6 boxes of markers. Each box has 19 markers in it. If he sold each marker for 75 cents, how much money would Jack earn? So I want you to think about what our quantities are and what they represent and how we're kind of using these. Are there any clue words that you're seeing that are important? Any information that is irrelevant or maybe more important than others? So I'm going to read it one more time and then we'll mark it up. Jack has 6 boxes of markers. Each box has 19 markers in it. If he sold each marker for 75 cents, how much money would Jack earn? So we know that Jack has 6 boxes of markers. So he has 6 boxes, but what's also really important to know is that each box, so one individual box is going to have 19 markers in it. Okay, so each box means one box has 19 markers in it. And we know we have 6 total boxes. So now, if he's selling each marker for 75 cents, so he's going to sell these, he's selling each marker. So remember that one marker, so each represents that one marker. For 75 cents, we want to know how much money that Jack is going to earn if he were to sell all these markers. So how much money would Jack earn? So he has 6 boxes of markers, but each of the 6 boxes has 19 markers in it. So one box has 19, 2 boxes then has another 19, the third box has another 19, and all the way on to the 6 boxes. But we want to think about if he were to sell each individual marker. So right now we don't know how many total markers he has. So once we find out how many total markers he has, then we can figure out how much money he's going to make if he has 75 cents for each marker. So I want you to think, is my answer going to be bigger, be getting bigger, or is it going to be getting smaller? So thinking about for our markers, are my 6 and my 19 going to be used to make a larger quantity or a smaller quantity? And then again, is my 75 cents going to help me make a larger quantity or a smaller quantity? So we are on page 20. You should be recording your quantities and working on that planning section. Once you've completed your planning section, make sure that you pause the video. You solve this on your own, and then you are going to unpause the video and we will check our work together. All right, ladies, so we are going to be solving this problem together. So if you take a look, I have my quantities listed on my paper. So our 6 is going to represent the total boxes of markers that we have. Our 19 represents the total markers in one of the 6 boxes. And then 75 cents is the total cost of one individual marker. So this one marker would cost 75 cents. And we want to know how much money did Jack earn for all of the markers. So this problem is going to have 2 steps. In our first step, we want to figure out how many markers we have in all. So we know how many boxes we have and we know how many markers are in each box. So we want to take those 2 numbers together and figure out how many total markers we have. So for step 1, we want to figure out, using those 4 different quantities, what would make the most sense. So we have markers and boxes. So we know if we have 2 different units, we need to eliminate adding and subtracting because we can't add or subtract 2 different types of things. So now we want to figure out, do we want our quantity to get bigger or do we want it to get smaller? So we have 6 boxes, and each box has 19 markers. So if we think about those 6 boxes, each box has 19 markers in it. So would that cause us to get bigger or smaller? Because we want to know what the amount is for all of the boxes. So this would make us get bigger, which means we want to multiply our 6 and our 19 together. And those are super easy numbers we can work with, so we can use the standard algorithm, 19 times 6. All right, so now we want to think, what is 9 times 6? So 9 times 6 gives me 54. And remember, in your resource part of your packet, you do have a multiplication chart up to the numbers 15, so you can use that if you need to. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. So right now we have 114 markers, but we want to make sure that we're checking our work to just make sure that we're correct. So this is us solving it, and then we want to check it by doing the opposite operation, which is division. 6 cannot go into 1, but 6 can go into 11 one time. 6 times 1 is 6. Remember, it goes underneath that 1 and 11, and then we subtract. 11 minus 6 is 5. Bring down my 4. 6 goes into 54 9 times, so we are correct. So we have 114 markers. Each marker, so one marker, if we have 114 of these, each one is going to cost 75 cents. So we have 2 different quantities. We have markers and we have money. So again, we know we cannot do addition and we cannot do subtraction because our quantities, our units are different. So we want to think, do we want our answer to get bigger or smaller? We have multiplication and division left. If we want to figure out that total amount of money that he's going to make off 114 markers, we want to see an answer get bigger, which means we want to multiply. So on this one, I'm going to use the lattice method. We have 114, and then we have 75 cents. And remember that 0 in the front doesn't really matter because it's 0. It's just going to add an extra place value. But every number after the decimal does matter. So now we want to multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 1, or 7 times 1 is 7, so 0 ones, or 0 tens, 7 ones. 7 times 1 is 7. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5. Remember that 0 tens, 5 ones. Same with this one. 5 times 1 is 5. And then we want to add 0, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Add that 0 or that 1, you want to carry it over. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Carry that 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. So right now we have 8,550, but that seems a little steep for 114 markers. So we want to remember that we have those place values that we need to account for with our decimal. We have 2 here and 0 here. So we want to move our decimal 2 times, which gives us an answer of $85.50. So remember, your decimal place really matters because it changes the value of your answer. So for our answer, we have $85.50 that we are earning from our markers. And then our number sentence, we want to start with what we did first, which is going to be 19 times 6. And we want to put that in parentheses so we know to do it first. And then we're going to take the answer, which was 114, and we're going to multiply it by how much money we made, or how much money each marker costs, which is 75 cents. And then that gives us a total cost that we're going to earn, which is $85.50.